Rodeo fans, saddle up for the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo, presented by RM43, January 9th and 10th at Casey Center. Come early for autographs, pony rides, and more. Get tickets now at HighVTix.com. The buck starts here at the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo.
World's Toughest Rodeo. Wild got a win last night. Ooh. Yeah. On Monday.
What's up? I'm Jake Brend with Bigger Than 12, joined by my co-host Derek Duke, where every Sunday we break down the Big 12 Conference.
We'll recap the full day in the Big 12 and look ahead to next week.
We talk a lot of Iowa State, but it's not just Cyclones. We go from Morgantown to Salt Lake City and everywhere in between. Be sure to check out Bigger Than 12 every Sunday here on Iowa Everywhere.
I'll do that. Thank you, Jay.
Murph and Andy talking sports and more exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Fales.
Glad to get another week started here on Murph and Andy. Thank you for being with us on a Monday. And Andy, we had a late night, and for me it was an early morning. Let's get to the late night first. So that Sunday night football game on NBC, locally WHO 13, it went almost the full overtime. And then we dealt with that weird situation in sound off where everything resets at midnight, but we were just starting sound off around midnight.
Yeah, it was late. We were yelling at the TV. We were doing everything that we could to get the Commanders to lose that damn football game. Doesn't mean anything to them. They're out. But the Broncos just could not quite close it out in regulation. Oh, man.
They did get it done in OT.
They did get it done in OT, but damn near took the whole OT to do it. We had a really late game on Thanksgiving as well.
Right.
How many overtime games is this? 2 or 3 that we've had this year in the NFL?
It's at least 2, and John Sears and I had to shuffle our schedule because we weren't sure if we were going to lose some technology right as we were starting our commentaries, because that's what happened the last time we had overtime. And then we got done, and that thing where the recordings run out on the player we use to distribute the videos onto the website and other platforms didn't do that. So we had to do that workaround. So John and I both didn't leave work until after 1 in the morning. So I got home about 1:15 a.m., and then I had to take Colin to the airport to go back to college at Arizona State at 3:30 a.m. So that was a short night. We had the roads to ourselves.
Yeah, it was really rough. It was just late, and we were just kind of I was kind of out of energy too. It was a long run. My mic here. I'm having some internet problems this morning. Google Fiber is down here right near the router. It's all good, but up in my studio, it's for some reason the connection is bad. So
the background's great.
Things.
Yeah, nice background.
Good looking Christmassy background here in the family room.
Hey, it's December. Go ahead, hang the stockings with care.
They're all hung. They're hanged.
By the chimney with care. This Friday, we will be live at Westtown Tap on Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines. We'll be there at 1 p.m., and it's newly renovated. So looking forward to seeing what it's like, the changes they've made. It's a big night for Christmas parties because we're in December now. So start the day, if you can, a little bit earlier. This time we will not be out on the patio. We will be inside. So that's coming up Friday. Looking forward to that. That's a few days away. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for today's sports and more. Coming up, Ferentz owns Nebraska, and that includes Memorial Stadium. Cyclones Sleepwater win. Sleepwater, Oklahoma, site of that last win. And Kiffin just burns it all down on his way out of Mississippi. All coming up on Murph and Andy. Guest House Tavern. Nightly specials, including Kentucky Fried Tuesdays. That's fried chicken and sides. Now, high or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Yeah, plenty of year-end financial advice to be found up with Tim Hawkins and company at Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax. You'll find them at wealthcharterretirement.com. And I'm going high here. We did Thanksgiving late. I worked on Thanksgiving, and my mom came in town though, and so we had her, did Thanksgiving on Friday. We were with her the whole weekend, had a really great time. Kahala's mom joined us too. This is us doing brunch yesterday after church at Either Or. We stopped by. I haven't done brunch there yet, and it was a lot of fun. Mom loved all the decorations that they have there. It's all dressed up for tinsel. And we just had a really great time with her. And then I took her to the airport, which was a shit show. Oh my God. It was so, I've never seen the Des Moines airport like that.
It was crowded when I dropped Colin off it was 3:45 a.m. by the time we got there. And we looked in and Colin's like, uh-oh, hope I left myself enough time.
Yeah. I mean, you should have seen it yesterday afternoon. I mean, you had it just had everything stacked against that place. First of all, there had been a Delta jet that had slid off the runway the night before that closed the airport for a number of hours, which means that, a whole bunch of flights got delayed and backlogged trying to come into Des Moines. So they had to get those in yesterday morning. They were still clearing snow there. Snow was, really pushing in on the sides of the road. So the cars getting in and out, everything's just a little bit tighter. There are all the renovations going on there at the airport. So, the whole driveway is twice as long as it normally is. And then you have, of course, the busiest travel day of the year. And not only were there problems at the Des Moines airport, I mean, there were flights canceled and delayed all over the Midwest and probably all over the country because of that gigantic storm that came through.
Right.
So I have never seen it like that. It was so bad. And so I finally dropped off my mom, just trying to get in and out of there right now. Oh my God. I mean, there's no good way to do it.
Right.
So I dropped off my mom. She boarded at 3:15. Allegiant flight down to Punta Gorda, Florida. Or is it Punta Gordo? It's something like that. Anyway.
I think it's Gorda.
Yeah, near Fort Myers. Anyway.
Yeah.
She boarded at 3:15. 6 o'clock, she's still texting from the runway. They sat out there forever. So my mom, she's 82, but she's in really, really good health and, is still totally independent, but didn't want to just leave her car at the airport. So she got a ride with a lady that kind of does that as a job, sort of, not really Uber. She got her own private kind of taxi business. So she got a ride and had her all lined up to pick her up at the airport last night if the flight was on time. Lady had a number of other people that she was picking up also down in Florida. But my mom is so late, she's just texting. She's like, hey, I had to let this lady go. I mean, I can't make her wait on me. She's got all this backlog. So my mom happens to be sitting next to a really nice woman from Ankeny. And I'm going to give her a shout out. I don't know this woman, but somebody out there will. Her name is Sonia Bayer from Ankeny. And she was really nice. She and my mom said she had a wonderful conversation, really, really enjoyed her. And this angel volunteered to drive my mom. She was going to Sarasota, and my mom's on the way to Sarasota in Venice. She drove my mom home late at night.
That's so nice.
Doesn't know my mom. I don't think this woman knew me or anything. And it's just, that's so wonderful of her to do that. So if somebody out there knows Sonia Bayer, will you please pass her my regards? Tell her thank you from the bottom of my heart, from all the Fales kids. We are so thankful that you are as a kind a soul as you are, and I truly appreciate it. And if you would reach out to me, I would like to thank you personally. But this is just, it was such a relief. My mom was so relieved, and another testament to Iowa Nice.
Yeah, and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and Thanksgiving. Yeah, and just my mom has such good feelings about Iowa and the people here and the life that we've made here, and this just reinforces that. But I thought that was just a wonderful way to cap off the whole thing. And I have to call my mom back today so she can tell me the rest of the long story of everything that the captain kept coming onto the intercom to tell him was going on with the plane, because that is so damn annoying when you're just sitting there. And they're like,
but there was a
pull
long
out,
time.
They're like, well, we got to de-ice. And we're like, why didn't you de-ice? The ice wasn't still coming down. They're like, why didn't you de-ice while the plane was docked?
Some of it feels like a stall, but we also know at one point there was just one runway open the entire time, so planes are going to get backed up. And there's a lot of people working hard in bad weather conditions through the holidays, and that includes a lot of people at that airport. And I am sure that they are dealing with impatient people night and day.
Yes.
And the Des Moines Airport has a lot of really nice people who work there. So shout out to them for getting through all of that. I mean, I think most people understand it's nobody's fault, and they understand why things are backing up. But, man, especially when you're sitting on the plane, because I know there was also people flying in, and they would land, and then they just couldn't get a gate. So they'd be out there 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah,
and you're starting to have bathroom shifts up and down, and yeah, it requires a lot of patience and cramped quarters, and it's a holiday. So thank you for everybody who helped get people like Mama Fales through this Thanksgiving travel season. I'm going to go high too. It's hard to pick one thing, but Thanksgiving, we had some anxiety, or Jenny did, about the downsizing we've done, and Thanksgiving dinner's our favorite holiday, and she loves it. She does a great job. But it all worked out here just fine. We didn't have as many extended friends and family as usual. It was kind of just family. But we had 12 people, and everybody fit fine, and Jenny felt a lot better about that. We all went golfing at Toad Valley. It was snowing out there. That was fun. And then after the Iowa State-Oklahoma State game Saturday, just walking through the streets of Des Moines, it was like a snow globe, and there are not cars, there aren't people. It was like The Walking Dead out there. Like you could walk for several blocks on what is normally a busy street and not see a car or person. And we pulled on a lot of doors.
You found another person to take that picture.
Colin.
Oh, okay. So there was one other person out there.
Yeah, he's with us. But Colin, photo credit Colin. It's a very nice picture. There he is. Yeah, this is later as we're walking back. It really was fun, though. That's the fun stuff. And that's one of the nice things about being downtown is we walked around and we pulled on some doors that were closed, but we also found some places that were open to eat, watch TV, have a pint. It was just a really nice Saturday. And there's something fun about being out in that kind of weather when it's not dangerous. But people were listening to what was being said on television and on the radio, on Facebook, whatever social media you're at, which is don't drive unless you have to, because there were very few cars out there. It was pretty dangerous. That was a big day. It was like a foot of snow.
Mm-hmm. Almost a foot. Yeah, 10.9 inches at the airport, I think was the official count.
I thought it was even more than that.
No, it was 10.9. I did a grocery run on Saturday, and it was sloppy. Yeah, I mean, I have my Subaru, which is so good in the snow, but I mean, there's a point where it gets so piled up at the edges of this, the ends of the streets and the entrances into the cul-de-sacs that, I mean, unless you have major ground clearance, it doesn't really matter if you have all-wheel drive or not. You're just not getting in there. But it was that kind of snow, and then I went out. Boy, man, I went out and shoveled and snowblowed. Oh, it was so wet. It was heavy, wet snow, where the snowblower wouldn't even go through it in one pass. You had to kind of do half passes. or half rows. It was. I actually went out twice. I had neighbors, I think, that were out there 3 times.
I get
Just
it.
kept
Yeah.
going.
We sat down, got some chips and a couple of cocktails, just opened up the blinds and just watched all the snow
Yeah,
removal.
it
was a
just
lot
watched
like the
everybody
previous
work.
home for me. So it was a lot of fun. I had one dud over the weekend, and that was Thanksgiving night. We like to go to a movie with the kids, and we went to The Running Man, and my wife Jenny just kept giving me side eye through the whole movie. And then
It's bad?
she didn't like. It's really cheesy, and it's.
You liked it though?
It was okay. I mean, I like Glenn Powell, but I was overall disappointed. Yeah, and I looked over about an hour and 15 minutes in, and she was just smooth out, just sleeping.
At the Palms and those recliners.
Oh my, yeah, those recliners will get you every
I have
time.
slept through a movie.
Russell
before that.
warned me it was cheesy, and Russell was right. Somehow, cheesy worked for the first Running Man better. Maybe it's because Schwarzenegger is, kind of cheesy in movies anyway, but Richard Dawson, that whole crew. And that movie, The Running Man in the future, the Running Man
I've
game
forgotten that. I think I saw that in junior high school, and I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, so the movie takes place, the first Running Man, in 2017.
So it's an old movie.
We're 7 years past the future, where game shows are the Running Man. Let's catch the buzz here on a Monday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Busy week for Logier Heating and Cooling, providing heating and cooling solutions, mostly heating, maybe all heating right now. Two Des Moines area families have been at it for more than a century. The Hawkeyes and Cyclones both finished the regular season 8-4. I think both were 7.5 in Vegas. So if you took the over, congratulations. They did both, by Vegas standards, overachieve by a half game, and they both go 8-4. Let's get to the nostalgia rewind. Start over in Lincoln, Nebraska, Friday. It was cold. It was snowy. It was a rough watch if you're a Nebraska fan especially. Let's get to the rewind. Huskers struck first with a big play and a touchdown. But for most of the first half, Nebraska kicked field goals, and Iowa scored touchdowns.
Skronowski going to throw, hit as he lets it go. Wide open man at the 10, caught, and a touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown, DJ Vanami. Counter draw, big hole. Kamari fight for the goal line. He's over. Touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa. And here comes the tush push. Touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa. No doubt about it.
Gary Dolphin, voice of the Hawkeyes, courtesy of Learfield. And I guess now that's the Gronowski-Plowski.
Yeah, they said that over and over again. I listened to most of the first half. I listened to Dolph and Pat Angerer while I was out trying to get the leaves up on Saturday or on was it Friday morning ahead of the snow. And I forgot how much I enjoy that, listening to a game on the radio. You get so much more from the local broadcast. They cut through all the BS that we already know that the national broadcasters have to, just glory over. And, you really kind of get a tone of you can, it's funny how much you can tell about the way a game looks just by the tone in good broadcasters' voices, right? They're around the other broadcasters in the media area there in the press box. They can they get a feel of the crowd, even though they're usually kind of insulated behind glass. They really kind of take you there. And it was fun listening to that because, first, early on, it's a pretty close game. And you can feel the angst of the Nebraska crowd. And Dolph is kind of talking a little bit about that, about how badly Nebraska wants to win this game and how crazy that is to consider. Even still, for somebody that's been doing this as long as Dolph has, just the idea that Nebraska fans would be desperately hoping for a win over Iowa at home.
Right, at home.
In Lincoln. But also really probably doubting that they were going to get it.
Yeah, and this is on what year? This is year 3 of Matt Rule, and he's gotten a contract extension, and they have improved a little bit, but it is still crazy to think the stakes really felt higher for Nebraska than Iowa. Now, Iowa needed to finish strong because it was kind of a dud against Michigan State, but got the win. You come over there, you want to have the month before the bowl game. You want the fans feeling good about the direction of the program. Nebraska doesn't have that now. I mean, not only did they lose, but this time it wasn't finding a way to lose. It was just getting pantsed in your own home stadium. Let's get back to the rewind. Open the second half. Iowa did with a safety on a punt, and the Hawkeyes just never looked back.
And Gronowski to throw. It's a quarterback draw. He goes in. Touchdown, Iowa. Good protection. Throws to the end zone. And it is caught for a touchdown, I think. Reese Vandersea, what a catch in great coverage. Touchdown, Iowa on a quick snap. Kamari Moulton all but seals the deal.
Yeah, great catch there by Vandersea, and just pulled away. And in the analysis of this game, I talked about how Iowa boat raced Nebraska, and it was just a beat down and all this. But I also said mistake-prone Nebraska. Oh, man, did that make some Hawkeye fans defensive. Oh, yeah, of course. If Iowa wins, it has to be because Nebraska made mistakes. No, Iowa dominated this game, but Nebraska had mental gaffes, discipline issues, turnovers. Nebraska couldn't get out of its own way. They were mistake-prone in all ways that you can be during a football game. That is not an insult to Iowa. Those are things Iowa generally does well.
Well, Iowa wins that game no matter who's playing quarterback and no matter how clean Nebraska plays that game. I would just beat them straight up and down. But the point is that it just turned the knife, though. I mean, to see for that big crowd to watch its team just unable to even put its best foot forward and try to play a clean game. I mean, Iowa was doing everything it wanted to in the second half on Nebraska. I mean, everything it wanted to.
Even passing.
It was playing Tony Hawk, the video game, and building up style points. It was it was a joke, and you know you could tell by every now and then they would take a shot at the crowd.
Oh, yeah. My friend Taco, your friend, our friend Taco, sent this photo nearly 7 minutes to go. And look at that crowd. Right. How much is cleared out of there? At least 75%.
Yeah, I mean, they were just dejected.
Maybe 80%.
And bewildered and just lost, and then they were gone.
And this made, because everybody has to be defensive in the world of fandom, this made Nebraska fans really defensive. But hey, I get it. You're freezing. It's snowing. Your team isn't playing well. You're getting your ass kicked. I'm watching from the comfort of my home. I'm not going to pass judgment on you if you get out of your chair with 7 minutes to go because you know you can't beat Iowa and go home. I get it. I might have done the same thing. But you can't be calling out other fan bases that don't stick around.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the last game of the season. I don't know. I don't know if I give do I give or take away points to a fan base that's still sticking around in a game like that? I mean, what's wrong with them if they're all still there watching that game? What do they think's going to happen? I mean, can they not get out of the stadium?
I guess it depends where you come down on this.
I would have totally left.
The one thing you don't want under any circumstances is what happened to Hawkeye men's basketball. You don't want it to reach the point of apathy. Like, if fans are angry, that's okay for the most part. They're engaged. If fans are happy, that's great too. They're engaged. But what kills a program is when fans no longer care and they just check out and they're apathetic. So I think that's the big concern anybody deals with is fans that don't care. As long as they're still furious and still mad or still want a coaching change, all of those things, I don't know which way you would go on crowd clearing out, if that shows apathy or just more like a white flag on a cold day.
Yeah, I mean, just like they're never getting out of that game. I mean, they're going to go to a bowl game. You're going to be able to see them one more time. it's Black Friday. You got stuff to do. You got family in town. You got something better to do than sit in the stadium and watch that team just get smoked in the cold. And you know that there's more snow coming at that point. So you got every reason in the world to get the heck out of there.
After the game, the Hawkeyes talked about the blowout win at Nebraska.
After that first quarter, we kind of really took it away, and the defense locked in a little bit. We were able to kind of run with it. We had a great pass game. We had a great pass game when we needed it. Kamari was really running it well. The line was doing a great job up front, and I feel like we were consistent throughout the entire game, which when we're a consistent team, we're a really tough team to beat.
Just coming out and being more physical in the second half. We said it was a 0-0 ball game, and we came out and executed on both sides, and ended up winning like that. And it's awesome to see a crowd clear out like that when you're playing away.
It feels great. It's a great opportunity just for me and just for the offensive line, just showing that we could do it, and it just feels good coming out with the win.
A video courtesy of David Warrington at WHO 13. He wore his WHO 13 hat there. It happens to be bright red.
Yeah, you get any feedback on that?
Yeah, we did, and I talked to our boss Rod, and I said, Rod, you got one of these in blue or something? He said, yeah, and then I forgot to follow up and go get it for him, and it was cold over there, so appreciate David working hard and everybody who did out in that cold. But yeah, the red hat probably made him popular with Nebraska fans. So it is now 10 of 11, Iowa over Nebraska, 7 straight in Lincoln, 11 of 15 since Nebraska joined the Big Ten. But the wild factoid that just floored everybody is this one. Kirk Ferentz has more Memorial Stadium Big Ten wins than Matt Rule, Scott Frost, or Mike Riley. That is incredible. Whoever first dug that up, props to you.
That's total wins by those Nebraska coaches in their own stadium.
Big Ten wins, but yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Big Ten wins.
Throwing out the pay wins, which Nebraska's lost a couple of those too.
Yeah, they have. That's dominance, and I was really kind of won just about every way that you can win this game, including several blowouts. Now there haven't been. There have been some that have been, closer than they should have been because Nebraska was playing really, really hard. But Iowa has a few blowouts also during that streak, and this counts as one of those. So
it does.
There have been times when Iowa fans have been able to watch this game and then just spend the second half drinking and tweeting.
Yeah, that was the case. And Iowa this year absolutely destroyed its Big Ten rivals: Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Just crushed all three. Now, lost to Iowa State, but that's not in conference. Beat the crap out of the other 3 rivals. So that's another sign that even with the 4 losses by a total of 15 points, there has been progress this season. The competition was better, and Iowa was better against the better competition. So let's get a quickie poll here from WCI Pools and Spas and Ames in Urbandale, revisiting a poll from earlier, but now we have a completed regular season.
Iowa's most impressive regular season win is at Nebraska, home against Minnesota, home against Penn State, or at Wisconsin.
Penn State has finished strong, got to 6 wins, will get to a bowl game now, is the most talented team, started the season at number 2. But I think it's at Wisconsin. Wisconsin showed a little life at the end of the season here, and that game was over after a quarter. That's at Wisconsin. So the road does matter to me. I'll go at Wisconsin, which is way behind in this poll. What do you guys got?
I think, honestly, I would split it. The Penn State win came, James Franklin is gone. The team is totally reeling. Their quarterback is out. It's on paper, when particularly when you've started to forget all of those factors, I understand why it's looking better. But the Minnesota game was an absolute beatdown. Like from the moment the whistle blew, it was totally lopsided.
Minnesota went undefeated at home too.
There was no competitive part of that football game other than the coin toss. So I think I'm still sticking with Minnesota here. Nebraska, I think I would put second, but I'll stick with Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to give a third answer. I was on Penn State because of the way Iowa came back in the second half and how talented that team is. But I think at Nebraska, with a team who wanted to beat you so bad, that's a 7-win team. They're at home. Yeah, it's a different quarterback, but that was his third start. And they needed to win that game for Matt Rule and for that program to feel good about themselves. And not only did Iowa go in there and win after a dud against Michigan State, they went in there and dominated that game. That whole first half, even though Nebraska was scoring, they were kicking field goals, Iowa was scoring touchdowns. Really, after like the first quarter, you didn't worry about that as a loss for Iowa, I don't think. And to have that kind of dominance against a pretty good Nebraska team who measures itself against you every year, I'll put that. But man, like you said, Murph, to beat the crap out of those three teams that badly this year, that's a lot of fun.
And Frankie makes a good point. He says the 4 losses were more impressive than the 4 wins. I also understand that point. All right, let's keep the nostalgia rewind going with Iowa State at Oklahoma State in Sleepwater, Oklahoma. Man, this was not surprising, but this was a sleepy atmosphere. It was a bad atmosphere. Didn't expect a lot of fans there. There weren't a lot of fans there. Oklahoma State winless in the Big 12 conference, which is not easy to do.
A lot of real tight camera angles too.
Yeah, fired the coach. At one point, I said, "I'm watching this game, and it just feels so boring to me, and it's not a blowout or anything." So I asked our text group, our Iowa Everywhere text group. I said, "Is it the broadcast or is the game this dull?" And Matt Van Winkle just said, "Yes." It kind of was both. So let's get to it after a slow start for both teams. Cyclones find the end zone in the second quarter.
Nothing doing. Fumble. And the ball pops out, and Iowa State got on it. It was a fumble, and Marcus Neal gets the fumble recovery for Iowa State. He fires to the left for the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Sowell made the catch. Chase Sowell, a 16-yard touchdown reception.
That is John Walters, courtesy of Learfield, voice of the Cyclones. Did you two find this just to be a dull game? And I'm still not sure if it was more the game, the broadcast, or just as simple as a combination of the two.
It was a bit of a chore to watch. Yeah. I think it's the nicest way I could put it. I mean, I like watching Iowa State play, so I'm entertained by it.
Yeah.
I did think that there was a chance that they could go in there and meet a team that, was inspired by the last game. And yeah, it just put everything on there. I mean, they, make it tough. We've seen Iowa State struggle in some games like this, going to these places where they should beat these teams. And, for whatever reason, the team is inspired. They got nothing to lose. And then the crowd that's there kind of gets behind them and it starts rolling. This was, and this Iowa State team is still so injured. The defense is still so injured. Dropping passes, it was not clean. I worried a little bit about this game. I mean, there was there was more drama than there should have been.
Right.
So I wasn't bored, but then when Iowa State would start rolling, I'd be like, okay, yes, just get the damn win and get out of that town and close the book on the conference season here, because that's all they needed out of this game. In any way, shape, or form, just get a win and get out of there and don't get anybody else hurt. Just get to 8-4.
Chore is a good word for it. The thought that would go through my head is Michigan and Ohio State are playing right now.
Yeah, right.
and most of this is on Oklahoma State. Just a bad season, a bad team, a bad crowd. And ESPN puts it on ESPNU, which I understand. The announcers are calling the Cyclones the Hawkeyes. And by the way, Thursday, how can an announcer call Kirk Ferenz? The Big Ten's all-time winningest coach, 27 years in, and he's Ferenz. But that happened. Oklahoma State answers with a touchdown of its own before halftime. In the third quarter, Abu Sama came up with a big play.
The give to Sama, kind of feeling his way. There he goes, across the 30, across the 20. Sama will take it all the way for the Cyclone touchdown, 40 yards.
Came close at least one other time to break it a big one, too.
Yeah, the announcer was like, well, this is the exact part of the field where Sama broke loose the last time. Let's see if he can do it again. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, he was good. I mean, the running game was impressive. Those guys have been, I think, the two highlights of this team this year, Sama and Hansen. And you know, they were good enough.
One of the announcers before the game started called Abu Sama Samu. It just like combined the two. It's like, yeah, go get him, Samu. The rest of the game, all punts and field goals. Cyclones win it 20-13. After the game, the Cyclones reflected on somewhat of a roller coaster of a season.
This team, the challenges, the adversity that it faced, to start off the way we did with some of the unique challenges that we hadn't ever faced. And then to, almost be paralyzed a little bit after that Arizona game, which is some of the things, and it just became a roller coaster of challenges. And for this group to never waver, never flinch, and actually just keep getting better through it is incredible. What a great testament to their belief and their ability to stay the course. And, they've given themselves a chance to do what very few teams here at Iowa State have done. And they got a chance to do something that only 5 teams in the history of the school have done, because their ability to stay the course and not waver. And so I'm really proud of it. It's really what I feel like our program has always stood for. And to be able to see it come to life with this team was really awesome.
We're going to look back at the season, and there's a lot of highs, there's a lot of lows, but I'm super proud of this team because, it's really hard to go through a 4-game losing streak and come back and win 3 games in a row. And I think with a team that has a bunch of injuries on it, we're dealing with a lot of stuff. And for the guys that continue to come to the facility and want to work and want to get better, that shows a lot about the people that we have here in this program. And, it's not going to stop there. We're going to continue to win. And I have no doubt that when we go to this bowl game, everybody's going to be ready for that game because we want to get that 9th win. I think we would be the 4th team in Iowa State history to have 9 wins in a season. And it feels like the outside world makes us feel like we have 5 wins. And so I think for us to stay in the facility, for us to focus on each other and know how special this season has been for us during the ups and downs is something that we're going to look back on for a while.
Yeah, it was a culture win. And I know some people think that's ridiculous because Iowa State was not that impressive in that win, but the culture is losing 4 games in a row and then finishing the season with 3 straight wins. And that was a tough atmosphere to be motivated. And they do have a lot of injuries. Not an excuse. It's, yes, teams get injured. Iowa State has had more than its share of injuries. And you're right, Andy, just get a win and get out of there, get to 8-4, and then wait for Minnesota or whoever you end up playing in a bowl game.
Yeah, and I agree with what Rocco Becht was saying there up to the bowl game stuff. I mean, I absolutely, this was a team that started 5-0, and then the whole train came off the tracks. And I mean, they were not only that they had a really bad loss at Colorado. I thought a bad loss to Arizona State, and a game at Cincinnati where they were just awful in that game. And though they had 3 losses, I thought, that were, and then they have 4 bad losses that looked bad, that they either had a chance to win, should have won, or just flat out did not play well in those games. I mean, they looked like a team that was way too injured. They looked like they had a quarterback that maybe needed to sit down.
Yeah.
They had fan apathy that was starting to creep in, and they stopped the bleeding. And they put it back on the track. So that was, in its way, we tick off these little milestones for Matt Campbell. That was another one. I mean, it really was. Yeah. They recovered in this season where everything had slid.
Quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Iowa State's most impressive regular season win is against Kansas State in Ireland, home against Iowa, home against Arizona, or at TCU.
The TCU one surprised me the most because they were in that tailspin and it was on the road, and TCU is a pretty good football team. I think Iowa's the best team of these 4 teams, but I'm going to pick Arizona because Arizona has proven itself over the course of the season to be a top 20 football team and beat Arizona State in Tempe this weekend. And Iowa State didn't just beat Arizona. Iowa State beat Arizona down. So I think that's the word choice here is most impressive, not best win. But I think Arizona is the answer for me.
Yeah, looking back, I mean, at the time, it just kind of went with where Iowa State was at that point of the season. They just looked like a good team, but Arizona finished 9-3, and that's a good team. Emotionally, you want to pick Iowa, but I think I'm going TCU here because I was ready to sign the death certificate for Iowa State there. I didn't think there was any way they were going to go and win that game. They won it in just in a way that made you feel good about the coaching. They hung in there in that game. They made some mistakes, but they hung in there. And he kept them together, and they kept going, looked a little better in all the things that they'd been struggling with up to that point, and they were there at the end for that kick return and to get it done. Am I getting the right game? They're there at the end to get that win in any way that they could get it. They got that win, and that changed everything at that point. I was impressed just kind of by the mental fortitude that win took at that point in the season.
It stopped the spiral for sure. AD, what's your choice here?
I'm going. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, though, you remember coming back from Ireland and then having that non-conference game against South Dakota South Dakota, one or the other. And they had that big rivalry game, and to be able to come back in that game, or it was tied late in the game, and they were able to find a way to win. Iowa ended up being a pretty good team as well. So yeah, I'm going to say the Iowa game and a rivalry game at home. Yeah, I'm going to go
with a field goal too, which was that super long field goal.
Yeah, another 54-yarder.
It was.
Jeez.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the Nostalgia Rewind, and it is presented by Barntown's Nostalgia THC Seltzers. You can interact with others on YouTube. On X, it is Murph_Andy. Email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. It's powered by Cellular Advantage, now able to help you with any and all of your T-Mobile and U.S. cellular needs. Well, we probably don't have to do a deep dive on this because you can't get away from it, but Lane Kiffin goes to LSU, and there's so many different talking points to this. It's like, college football is such a mess. How is this even allowed? These coaching contracts, Lane Kiffin's character, he's done this kind of thing before. How could you leave a team that has a shot at winning the national championship, knowing if you take this job, you're giving that up? You'll get other job offers. Guy stayed at Tennessee for one season. It's just, there's so much in play here, but I think I'm going to drill down on the one that was the most ludicrous, which was the amount of ESPN personalities, including Kirk Herbstreit, out there publicly lobbying for Ole Miss to allow Kiffin, after accepting the LSU job, this is a rival, to continue coaching Ole Miss for the next month to 6 weeks. In no world does that make sense. You can't do it.
You look so desperate if you're Ole Miss, if you do that. Oh, you just stay around? Please, we don't know if we'll ever get this chance again. No, I don't care if you recruit all the rest of the coaches on the staff and just spend your time here lobbying for people to come with you down to Baton Rouge. Just stay around. We'll never get another chance like this again.
You got to show him the door. You do. And
look, I mean, we all knew it was going to end this way with him. Anybody that isn't been paying attention to Lane Kiffin's career. He always leaves.
He's so.
Well, you knew he was going to leave eventually.
I knew he'd leave eventually, but I thought in this scenario that he was just setting it up because he's a guy that likes attention. He likes to have fun with the media sometimes. I thought until this weekend started, it became clear this weekend that he was going to LSU. There was good reporting behind that, but I thought up until last week that he was just going to make this hero's announcement that I'm staying at Ole Miss.
You knew
it seemed he was happy here.
That if he got the offer that he wanted, meaning the money was right and the school was right, he is not tethered to any sort of moral anchor.
Nope.
I mean, nope, not at all. He will leave at any time, any place. He will do it.
They were booing him out there at the airport. Shades of Chiswick leaving
Iowa,
or showing up at Auburn, leaving Iowa State. Worse.
This is a mess. I mean, this is a college football problem as much as it's a Lane Kiffin problem. There's no barrier against this.
The calendar makes no
guardrails.
sense.
Accountability doesn't matter. I mean, none of that matters. And if you're an LSU fan, you're just fine with this. And this has happened so many times. There have been so many coaches that have bailed on a good situation. I mean, but just think of like the principle here. He is leaving a college football playoff team.
Yes.
For a place that he hopes to take to the college football playoff.
Right. So he doesn't need to leave to have a shot at the college football
No, he's
playoff.
already there.
Ole Miss is going to be in it.
He's
And
already done something more impressive at Ole Miss than he will do at LSU, short of winning a national title.
And Andy, it's been revealed today as the contract has been made public in the most bend-you-over negotiation of all time. LSU is going to pay Lane Kiffin any bonuses he would receive from Ole Miss wins in the playoff up to $1 million. So if Ole Miss wins without him, LSU is going to pay him bonuses, even though no one at Ole Miss can stand him anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, but
good lawyer.
That's the kind of bargain you can strike when you are when the team is asking, when the school is asking you to come take the job now, right? Rather than what he should have done and just said, you know what, I'm interested in this job, but I have a job right now and I need to take it through to the end of the season. You can understand that. I think anybody can understand that. But LSU, which their fans want them to do, I'm sure was like, no, we want you now. What do we have to do to get you now?
Because with the transfer portal, you understand that thinking, and the calendars aren't the same. But just right here in Iowa, we have an example of this. Ben McCullum was a real hot property after what he did at Drake last season. And he told people not talking about jobs until the season is over. I mean, ideally, that's what you want from your coach. But there are differences here because the championship game is like 6 weeks away.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's the timing, and I don't know what they do about all this because there's no governing body that the schools all respect.
No.
One conference is not going to follow another conference's lead when it comes to rules. It's every man for themselves. It's every school for themselves. It's, who's got the money, who's got the prestige. And, the fan base is, single-minded. Just get the guy we want. That's it. I don't care how you do it. Just get the guy we want.
Iowa State, Iowa wrestling. Iowa State wins for the first time since 2004. This rivalry needed the Cyclones to win. I know Hawkeye fans don't want this, didn't like it, but 21 wins in a row? 20 wins in a row? I mean,
21, I think, yeah.
Jeez, since 2004, that's a crazy stat because you have two storied, proud wrestling traditions. Hard to believe that anybody could win 20 of these in a row, but Iowa State gets it done 20-14. As usual, there's tension after the match. You could see some coaches shaking hands. There's been talk that Tom Brands didn't shake hands with Kevin Dresser. I wasn't there. I didn't see that. Maybe somebody can tell me for sure if that happened.
That's what I had heard, too. Yeah.
The Hawkeyes left quickly. Didn't seem to be any handshakes there. I mean, wrestlers.
Not a lot of credit given in the press conference.
No.
By Tom Brands afterwards. Yeah.
Here are Kevin Dresser and Tom Brands after the match.
They should feel really good about themselves right now. I told them in the locker room afterwards is when you go beat a really good team in sports, doesn't matter if you're in high school or college or the pros, you go beat somebody really good, you don't forget that. There's a lot of matches these guys will forget in their career, but they're not going to forget today.
I look at it like we got work to do, and we'll keep doing the work. I'm not sure that, we failed in critical moments. I think that we can get better, and we got the guys to get better.
Such a odd place we're in wrestling here, where Iowa and Iowa State are top 5 teams, but you can hand the team championship trophy right now to Penn State.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're just kind of fighting over second place. But
yeah.
I don't know. We know both of these guys pretty well. And I like them both. I genuinely do. I like Tom Brands, and I definitely like Kevin Dresser. I'm always impressed at how anytime we see him out, he comes up and talks and makes genuine conversation. And I've always been impressed. It's taken him a long time, right? He's been at this quite a while at Iowa State.
He knows what it means.
And he knows how important this match is. And I really kind of was settled into the idea that this was not going to happen for him. And to push past that and keep trying, keep motivating your wrestlers, keep recruiting, and finally get it done. You have to be really happy for a guy like that. And especially, Tom Brands and his staff offer no quarter to Kevin Dresser and his staff. We've had him on our show. What do you call him? An orange? Whatever that means. It didn't sound good.
Orange is a fruit.
He doesn't like Kevin Dresser, and I've not heard Kevin Dresser really say anything about Tom Brands in the back, but I'm going to guess he didn't like him either. This is a heated rivalry between these guys. They're serious dudes. We know what wrestling coaches are like, but just kind of standing back. I'm proud of this rivalry. I agree that Iowa State really needed this win, but I'm not real worried about, there not being the platitudes offered after. It's a little disappointing. I would like to see Tom Brands, give some credit to Iowa State and shake hands and stuff like that. I would like to see that, but
I would too.
I don't know. I feel like Tom Brands, I feel like it's kind of, I know he's really intense. I know he's sincere, but it's also kind of he's playing a role. He is. He's playing it really well. He's the, slightly unhinged, maybe totally unhinged, classic wrestling coach who's crazy in a good way. Always has kind of a little wink in his eye when he's saying this kind of stuff. We know him personally. Mm-hmm. And it's fun to watch from afar. The whole wrestling arena is just good entertainment.
The energy is the opposite of the energy in the stadium in Stillwater.
Yeah, I could sit back and not even watch a match and just watch the Brands brothers coach. just coach. I don't need to look at the ring. I don't need to look at the mat. I don't really need to look at the crowd. Just watch those two, and I'm thoroughly entertained.
Some other topics here on a Monday. Audi Crooks with 47 points. No one can say it was against unworthy competition. She had scored 43, a school record. I don't remember who it was, but she only played 20 minutes. She played one half and had 43 points. This is 47 points against previously undefeated Indiana. Mm-hmm. And if she and Bill Fenley want to, because he's running everything through her, it's like make sure she gets a touch each time. She is going to score 50 points in a game this season.
Yeah, and when she hit some shots yesterday that just that lead you to believe that there shouldn't really be any reason why she is a containable opponent.
Yeah, she has soft touch on her
really
fade.
Soft touch can hit shots. They're not all putbacks right under the basket off the glass. She really does have soft touch, which I think is kind of difficult because she really has big hands. I remember watching Royce White try to shoot the men's basketball.
And the women's basketball is smaller.
Right, yeah, and Royce White is a lot bigger, but it's hard. It looks hard to throw that small basketball into the hoop for her, but she's really doing it well. she'll run into some teams that are able to defend her a lot better than this, but it really kind of looks like this is the year where she's put it all together.
A matchup with Iowa next week will be interesting. If you had Brock Purdy doing the Dougie after a touchdown, congratulations. The former Cyclone quarterback did it. And, of course, his friend, the former Hawkeye George Kittle, had thoughts too.
I mean, I've always been able to Dougie, but I haven't really just done it, publicly. And so, my wife, she could tell you actually, like, I annoy her in the kitchen and all that kind of thing. So that's where I got my practice. But I told the team, said if we're scoring, we're gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna hit the Dougie. So I got an op to do it, so I did it. So.
And Kyle said he promised you guys that he would do it, but you looked pretty shocked by the touchdown.
I just is really good at it, and I was more just surprised. I mean, God forbid a white guy has a little bit of motion.
There's the new term, motion. God forbid a white guy.
Remember when we were debating whether or not Brock Purdy should get the starting quarterback's job back?
Well, he planted a seed with
team.
3 picks on 3 drives last week, but he got out the other side of that, and the Niners still won, and then he came back, had a good game yesterday. Do want to show everyone who is watching, we'll try to describe it for those who are just listening, but this Grandview Snow Globe game against St. Francis in the NAIA playoffs, Todd Bailey with the video here, that's what a scene that Grandview had for a home game here in Des Moines. It looked like they're having a blast. Of course, when it's 62-20, that makes it easier. But this is...
Who are they playing?
In St. Francis.
Poor bastards.
Yeah, jeez. And, man, there was some hard work that went into just getting that field kind of playable to start the game, but it covered back up. Look at this video.
Jeez.
Man,
guy
you
breaks
can't
off on a run like that. I'm just going to laugh. Go ahead and
forget
score.
it.
We'll get you
And
the next play.
St. Francis, you can't. Sometimes you lose them on the field because of their uniforms. They wear
too white.
Yeah, they're too white. Now Grandview pops in those red uniforms, but Vikings move on. Their former coach who led them to the championship last year, Joe Woodley, they did lose to the Coyotes, so they are out of the playoffs. Confluence, the official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence proudly serving the new light lager virtually everywhere. It's Old Tavern. Now, let's get some more.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
We were there for brunch on Sunday. Yes, it was all decked out, absolutely beautiful. My mom loved all the decorations. She recognized a few of them. Was like, yeah, we used to have some of those. And then all the cool photo op spots. Kahala and Eddie, polar bears.
That's smart to have photo op spots for sure. Oh, why are you so sad?
Well, we tried to go on Saturday night, and they were closed.
Yeah.
But I thought about it. That's actually pretty cool. I mean, there's some greedy ass owners that would make people show up and try to stay open just to grub together, as many nickels as possible. And it's a cool thing to just be like, you know what? Don't push it trying to come into work tonight. We're going to close, cut our losses. We'll go get them again tomorrow. And that's what they did. We ended up going and have sushi, and I felt so bad. There were 2 people working in the restaurant, the owner and their sushi chef. And I was really thankful that there was a place that we could sit down and have a meal, but I was also feeling bad because it felt like if we hadn't showed up, it closed early. So she got a really nice tip. But
every place we went downtown Des Moines, every place we went, it was we had alone time with the bartender. If there was a manager there, long conversations because there's just nobody or just a few people anywhere that was open.
Yeah, I think the smart people stayed in and ate leftovers, or they ordered pizza or something like that. But no, we needed to go out. We wanted to go to Either Or.
Yeah, order a pizza. Put a driver out on the road to deliver your pizza.
I saw a lot of them out there. There were a lot of them out there. All right, let's get this segment started in style.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
The guy just honks going by. A little help. You ever hit your tailbone really bad?
I have, and that just watching that is so uncomfortable. Man,
I hope
just
everybody
takes the
had a
sign right in the split.
Right there. Yeah, right in the tailbone. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I hope everybody who did a turkey had great success. I mean, if you did, though, consider yourself fortunate because not all turkeys worked out. Case in point, this guy.
All right, they trying to say my turkey was burnt. I told them, man, it's juicy in the inside. Watch how we cut this open, baby. Oh, shit. Hold on. Fuck. I told you, hold on. I know it's juicy in there. Look, that's that white meat right there. That's juicy. Oh, juicy. Look at that. Juicy. It's just a little.
He won't give it up.
In there, it's juicy. Look.
No, it's not.
Yep, I taste the juice.
That is just deep fried to oblivion.
That's the Griswold turkey there. Remember he's eating, he's like...
Those people that deep fry those turkeys, man, it just seems like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. The giant fires that you see, all that oil, and you got to do something with it, filter it, put it back, and then you leave it in there too long, and then it turns into a briquette like that guy's turkey. If you had
juicy.
Oh, the juice is in there.
His juice is in there.
If you had guests over, be sure to check your Ring cameras. You might strike gold like this.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Bye. Oh, I've been holding that in for so long. I hope you didn't hear that on a Ring cam.
Love it.
The guy reminds me of Alex Kabursky. Not for the fart, but he kind of like laughs while he talks, like Alex does. You know what I'm talking about, Andrew?
Oh, maybe both.
I've been holding that in. From the Des Moines Register and their fine food and beverage writer, Susan Stapleton, read her stuff all the time. Yuengling is coming to Iowa early next year. It used
brewery?
Not a brewery. They're going to start selling the beer here, but it used to be you had to be within 2 states of a Yuengling brewery for the beer to be sold in your state.
Okay, I didn't realize this was not available for sale here.
No, it's a Pennsylvania brewery.
Right.
So 2 states from Pennsylvania could get it, and then they had a brewery. I think they put one down in Florida, so you could get it there, and then 2 states from Florida. I think eventually they put one in Indiana, and you could get it in Missouri.
Okay.
But still not Iowa. I don't know if they just changed that rule or if they built another brewery closer to Iowa, but you're going to be able to get it here.
Good.
Starting early next year. I like Yuengling. I like it way better in the bottle.
I've seen a lot of that in people's homes, so it must be one of those spotted cow type situations where people bring it back.
You could go to Missouri. I would bring some back, but yeah, I'm happy to hear that. More beer is better. From the bowels of the interweb, we bring you this: an online pizza order. I'm going to go ahead and read this.
All right.
1 large hand-tossed pizza, triple pepperoni, extra cheese, banana peppers, light jalapenos, half chicken, half mushrooms, half caramelized onions, half olives, light sauce. Customer request. Bro, yes, I know this looks insane, and you're probably like, who is this dude? I'm the dude who has a very pregnant wife. I'm done questioning what she wants. I'm scared of her, and honestly, you should be too. I promise this is the order. Thank you and Godspeed.
That's great. She's got some cravings.
Oh my God, that is a complicated pizza.
That better be a big tip.
All right. Today's stupid criminal is a woman from Pierce County, Washington. She was arrested 4 times in 2 weeks for driving under the influence of nitrous oxide, also called whippets.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just they take a whipped cream can and they suck the nitrous out of there. Sometimes they get a nitrous charge, and they suck that up. The first arrest happened back on November 12th when someone saw her doing a whippet in her car while not wearing pants.
No pants. Whippet, pants optional.
3 days later, she crashed into a power pole and destroyed her car with whippet cans scattered throughout the inside of her car. She was arrested again on November 20th when deputies found her slumped over in a car with nitrous cans everywhere. On November 23rd, she crashed into a parked car, totaled another vehicle. Deputies finally arrested her on two $50,000 warrants on November 26th, calling her a danger to everyone on the road.
I think that conclusion could have been arrived at sooner.
Just constantly picking up cans of whipped cream at Walmart. From the bowels of X, we'll close with this. We bring you another round of real or AI.
Oh, wait, cannonball! Oh, no! Ah! Oh! You good? I'm alive, I think. We just fell to the floor.
No, that's real, right?
That's real. Yeah, I
mean,
think that's real.
You heard him.
Yeah,
all the
he
way
said he's
through.
alive, and
It was real to me.
Those guys jump on that bed. That might happen. You never know. That's your more, everybody.
I think I saw those guys at Memorial Stadium. It is time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto. If you had bad tires, you learned about it this weekend, and I mean even today, the side roads are all snow covered. You don't want to be out there this winter. It seems like it's going to be a tough winter, so get your tires figured out now. Heartland Tire and Auto, Ankeny, Waukegan, Knoxville, Boone, and Creston. Andy, the Iowa men have a tough stretch ahead. At Michigan State tomorrow night, Saturday home against Maryland, and then next Thursday at Iowa State. What should Hawkeye fans expect from these next 3 games?
Expect. I think they should. I think this is a good team. I feel like they should feel safe expecting 1 and 2, although that's still a tall order. It's Maryland. I mean, that's not football. It's basketball. I think they should feel good enough about 1 and 2. That I won't go further than that.
I agree. At Michigan State, that is a tough way to start. This Michigan State team is, I think, undefeated, and that's a tough way to get going. But this is a fun game to watch. Can't wait for that tomorrow night. At Iowa State, pick the Cyclones at home there. So I agree with Andy. Expect 1 and 2.
Iowa, the first team out of the AP Top 25 today, receiving votes, effectively ranked 26th. Iowa State up to 10 in the AP poll. Murph, the College Football Playoff Committee takes into account the current state of teams. And number 7 Ole Miss just lost its head coach and 9 members of his staff. Should Ole Miss be downgraded in tomorrow night's rankings?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't. The players on the field had nothing to do with this happening. I don't see it the same as Florida State losing its starting quarterback, although I'm still surprised that there wasn't more universal outrage that a 13-0 undefeated team got left out of the playoff, in part because it didn't make for good television product. I mean, let's be honest, that's what it was. But in this case, I don't think the Ole Miss players should be punished, and they have their defensive coordinator now as the head coach. Most of all, I'd like to see Ole Miss keep winning, but even that's conflicting now because Kiffin gets paid for each game they win, which is crazy.
It's not fair, and I genuinely feel bad for them. But to say that they shouldn't, I mean, you're trying to say, are they as good a team as they were with Lane Kiffin coaching? And
they are not.
They're not. So I mean that's fair, right? I mean that's a fair assessment. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's kind of the way it is. I feel bad for those guys, but you're not punishing them. You're trying to assess whether or not you genuinely think that Ole Miss is as good a team with Lane Kiffin as they are without him.
And they did set the precedent with Florida State a few years ago.
Yeah, they're not exactly the same things, but they're in the same neighborhood.
All right, Andy, Thanksgiving was a full 4 days ago. Is it too late to still eat Thanksgiving leftovers?
Hell no. I'm eating them all. I don't care. I throw all that stuff. Just heat it up, man, to a safe temperature. It'll be okay. You're all right. You know, I mean, you're not storing it on the, on the counter. You're not putting it in the bathroom. It's in the fridge. It's all right. I'm eating it all.
I think you can keep eating it. I did a check this morning to see how much is left. And really the only thing we have left, because Colin just left, the only thing we have left is like huge pan of mashed potatoes. There are like 50 pounds worth of mashed potatoes. There's still some of those left, but the good stuff is gone.
I know. I'm going to make another turkey. I didn't get enough, and ours is almost gone.
Dang. I hit that guy up that has a juicy turkey there.
He may have found some juice by this point. He might have actually found some.
He's looking hard.
Cut into the bone or something.
Speakpipe.com is where you can leave a message of what's bugging you. What's bugging you? Speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy. Day or night, anytime.
I'm wondering what I'll find in my email inbox at the TV station today.
Yeah, hit us with some of these. We need some fresh ones for this week. So hit us up, speakpipe.com/Murph.
Yeah, we need some. Yeah, what's bugging? Come on, man.
Something's got to be bugging you. Let us know. It's easy to do. All right, time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. It's the 80 squared.
Yeah, it's powered by Game Day Men's Health. You can find them in Ankeny, West Des Moines, North Liberty, the suburbs of Chicago. Anywhere you are, there is a Game Day near you. Free consultation. They'll let you know what you need, what you don't need. Get to Game Day Men's Health. With Iowa playing on Black Friday every year, it's a weird week, I'm sure, for the players and the coaches, and certainly Kirk Ferentz. Thanksgiving gets pushed back. It's a busy week, but it is the end of the regular season, and now you have some time to breathe. Coach Ferentz was asked by Gary Dolphin on the post-game show on Learfield what his plans were for the weekend.
Coach needs to rest the vocal cords, it sounds like, for a day or two, but we know better. You won't be off the sideline long. So
well, I'm not going to be doing shit this week. Pardon my French, but this next 2 days I'm not doing shit. Quite frankly, other than eating more than I should, eating ice cream, and I'm not going to be worried about it. I'm going to let other people worry.
Oh, that's
I don't think that's
great.
French.
And he goes back to it a second time, which shows you he has officially reached the "I will say what I want" stage.
Yeah, he's backing out of his driveway and he's not looking behind him first.
And I was sitting there Friday night like, yeah, me too, Coach. Me too.
Yeah, everybody could relate to that. Seriously, at some point we'll get where we're just at a comfortable space like we are here of people just talking the way they talk. Quickie poll results presented by WCI Pools and Spas. We had 2 today.
Iowa's most impressive regular season win is the win over Penn State, says 43% of the vote. 29% say it's at Nebraska, 21% say the beatdown over Minnesota, and 8% say it's the win at Wisconsin. Iowa State's most impressive regular season win is the win over Iowa, says 45% of the vote. Many Hawkeye fans, I'm imagining, chipped in on that. 28% say it's a win over Arizona. 20% say the win at TCU, and only 7% will go with a win over K-State.
Which at the time in Ireland just seemed like, man, just setting the tone. What a big win. K-State was up and down quite a bit.
It was
thank
big.
you.
It's still big for other reasons. It was a good trip that ended well. Got them off to a really good start.
You don't want to be the losing end of that trip. Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on a Monday. We sure do appreciate it. Make it easy to get the show. Please like and subscribe. We're back Wednesday, and then Friday we will be at Westtown Tap. Yeah, we'll check out the new place. Come back and join us Wednesday, and then come see us Friday if you get the chance.